Hello family, I'm Chef Lorious. Welcome back to the Love Lab. Today in Calibama Cooking, we are making a creamy Alfredo chicken bake. This is comfort food at its best. I'm telling you, every time I eat this dish, I feel like it just hugs me and just gives me a little love. You know what I mean? Come on in the kitchen, guys. Let's cook. Okay guys, so we're gonna start off with some chicken thighs. I love cooking these kinds of dishes with chicken thighs. And the reason I love chicken thighs is there's so much flavor in them, and you can get a boneless, skinless chicken thigh, and I'm telling you, it's just nice and juicy. You can use breasts as well, that's fine. But I'm just telling you my pro tip, if I'm a pro. My tip, use chicken thighs. So here I've got 4 chicken thighs that I've cooked. Now I cook these in my sous vide. Yes, that's another video, okay? Which is awesome about sous vide is you can cook it, get it all ready, and then just set it aside until you need to use it. So I love that. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut these open. And I season these before I put them in the sous vide with an herb seasoning. Like I said, that's another video, we'll get to it, okay? What I'm gonna do is take the chicken out, all right? So now you'll notice with sous vide, when you cook the chicken, you get a little bit of the fat and stuff like that. So that's okay. That's all part of it, okay? It's part of the flavor. There we go. All right, and I'm gonna save this because we're gonna use this to make our sauce, our cream sauce with it, and that's gonna make it taste even better. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is cut this chicken up a little bit. See there? Boneless, skinless thighs, nice and full of flavor. All right. So to start on our creamy Alfredo sauce, what we're gonna do is first get our heat going. We're gonna use some olive oil, 2 tablespoons, don't need too much, okay? And we're gonna start with garlic. We're gonna put some fresh garlic in here, okay? And we're gonna let that garlic just start to release the aroma. As the room starts to smell like garlic, then you'll know it's time to move on to the next step, okay? Here's my pasta over here I've already cooked. I've got nice big rigatoni. I asked the kids what kind that they want, and they opted for rigatoni because, quote, the sauce gets stuck inside and it's really good. I think they're right. All right, we're gonna let that garlic come to a little bit of a sizzle. And when you smell it, it's time. As soon as that comes to a good sizzle, we're gonna add flour in there and make a little bit of a roux so we can get our sauce started. Y'all know how we do this. Yeah, you can also add onions in here if you wanted to. But I'm gonna keep it simple today and just use a little bit of garlic. It's starting to smell so good. Okay, so here I've got some all-purpose flour. You can use all-purpose flour, you can use self-rising flour, it really doesn't matter. Just pick a flour. And if you don't want to use the flour at all and try to, well, you can't make it keto because it's got pasta. Scratch that part. Flour. Okay, I'm gonna put about 2 tablespoons or so of flour in here. And these are 2 heaping tablespoons, okay? Maybe 2.5. Okay, and I'm gonna just give this a stir around. I want this flour to absorb the oil, okay? Get that heat going. And I also want the flour to fully, I don't want any clumps. This is the stage at which we get it nice and smooth, okay? See that I need a little bit more flour in there because I can tell it has not fully absorbed all of the oil. There we go, you see that? This is the start of a good roux or bechamel or whatever. You know, they got all kinds of names for it. I call it gravy sauce starter or sauce starter. I don't know. Okay, see that? See how that's absorbing all of that oil? Keeping that moving. You want to keep it moving because you don't want it to burn. And again, all you're trying to do is get rid of the flour taste, the rawness in the flour. And you don't want to cook that garlic too long before you add it because it'll burn, and burned garlic is not good. Okay, now that is looking real good, see that? That's how we want it. I'm going to start with some heavy cream. I'm going to add in heavy cream. Okay, I've got 3 cups here. I may not need all of it. We shall see. Okay, I'm feeling generous. I'm gonna put all 3 cups in there, get the heat going, and as this comes to a boil, that flour and the olive oil, the roux we started, is gonna activate from the boiling and it's gonna start to thicken up. What we're also gonna do is add in here a cup or so of chicken broth. And I'm gonna use my Better Than Bouillon, which you guys know is my favorite, okay? And I'm also going to add in some herbs and some Parmesan cheese. So here's the key though. When you're using heavy cream like I am today, some people can't handle the richness of heavy cream because it doesn't bother me, but like my husband is, sometimes if I make a sauce with just heavy cream, it's a little too much. So if you do that, I always recommend break it up, do 3 to 1, 3 cups of cream and 1 cup of broth, just to help it, you know, kind of balance out or something a little bit. All right, I'm gonna wait for this to come to a boil. It looks good already. It's just cream, but cream is good. Okay, you see how our cream is starting to thicken and boil? Now we're gonna add in the sauce from our sous vide packet. This is really just good old chicken flavor. These are like the pan drippings, you know. I highly recommend you use those. That's gonna make it really, really good. Okay, I'm gonna stir that in, and then I'm gonna also add in this water like I mentioned. You don't need as much of it because I added in those pan drippings. And I'm gonna add a little bit of this Better Than Bouillon with it too. I've also saved some of the pasta water here, okay? It's always important when you make pasta and you boil it, save some of that pasta water because that will help get your dish to the consistency you like. You may not need it, but you might. It's easier to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. We're gonna go ahead and add in here as well some of this Parmesan cheese. This is fresh grated Parmesan cheese, okay? You add in as much as you want. I'm probably gonna end up putting in a lot. Okay. Save some for the top of the dish though. Stir that in. Oh yeah. And you want to stir that in at this point so it can start to melt in with the sauce, okay? It's going to also work as a thickening agent. And if you didn't want to use flour, what I started to say earlier, you can really just let this keep boiling and cooking, and the cream itself will cook down, so you cannot add flour to it if you wanted to thicken up without needing flour. Okay, let's turn it down now. Now she want to boil. Here we're going to add some parsley and some basil. Okay, and a hit of this fresh black pepper. Doesn't that look good? Oh yeah. And this is one of my little things I love to put whenever I'm doing these cream sauces, just a smidge of nutmeg. You don't need a ton, just a smidge. Oh yeah, see how this is coming together? Look at that. Now I didn't add salt in here, if you notice, because we have the Parmesan cheese, and also I have those chicken flavor, the chicken drippings and the bouillon, which is the broth. There's a lot of salt in that. So we'll give it a taste to see if we need any more, but my guess is we're good. Oh yeah, see how that's nice and thick coating the spoon? That's what we want. Oh. Oh man, that's good. Okay, that's enough. Turning the heat off. Oh wow, that's delicious. Oh my God. Now I'm not gonna thicken it anymore because I'm gonna actually mix it in with the pasta and with the chicken, okay? So here I have a bowl. And in this bowl, I'm going to add this nicely cut up chicken that we have. Okay, and then to this, we're now gonna add in our noodles. Now I'm not gonna use all of these pasta noodles, okay? I'm gonna use quite a bit, but I don't know, I say that and then watch me use them all. Gonna add in the noodles, because we don't want the dish to be overtaken with just noodles. So I'll start there, okay? And then I'm gonna toss these together, a little bit like that, see? Oh yeah, we can stand for a little more noodle, right? Can't we, church? Amen? Amen. All right, now comes the fun part. We're gonna start doing this sauce. So what I'm gonna do, rather than just dump the whole sauce in there, which is not necessarily a bad idea, but I may have more than I need, right? Right, who knows, you could. So I'm just gonna use a ladle and start ladling in the sauce. Give her a nice mix. Look at that. See how that's coming together? That looks good. All right, look at that, guys. You see how good that looks? And you want the honest truth? You can eat this sucker just like this, okay? I'm gonna be real with you. You can eat this puppy just like this. But we're going to take it another step. Let's put the rest of these noodles in here. Who are we playing with? Who are we kidding, fam? Who are we kidding? So we're gonna bake this in the oven on 375 degrees. The reason you only need 375 for about 15, 20 minutes is because the truth is everything's already done. All right, here I've got a dish that I have lightly sprayed with some baking spray. chicken pieces in there. And I'm gonna top this part with some more cheese, just like this. This is also a great potluck dish. You know, a casserole if you're taking to a dish or a dinner someplace or whatever, because it all fits in one dish very nicely. Look at that. We could even put those other noodles in there. That's okay. We give it a little space so it can look nice, you know. And then we're gonna go back with some more cheese on the very top. Okay, and we're gonna cover this with foil initially, just for a few minutes, maybe about the first 5 to 10 minutes. Then take the foil off and let it finish. So take this, put this in our oven at 375 degrees for about 15 or 20 minutes until the cheese is melted, the top layers, and until it looked like we want it to look. Does that make sense? Let's put it in the oven. Well, family, look at this. This was in the oven for 15 minutes. I just took it out. Oh, it is divine looking. I can still hear it sizzling. I just wanted you to see this one. This is what I was telling you the kids liked about the rigatoni. If you look in there, the sauce gets stuck in the rigatoni. I'm gonna try to taste this piece, but I don't want to burn my mouth. Hot, yeah, hot. Oh, but it's so pretty. Okay. Hot. Oh man, this is, oh wow. All right, I hope you make this. This is amazing. You'll love it, your family will love it. If you like things like parmesan and Alfredo and chicken and pasta. Thank you so much. Have a great day. I'll see you next time right here on Calibama Cooking. Happy cooking.